So there was a rumor that came out in regards to Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four first steps. So it says this. In the Fantastic Four first steps post credit scene, Kang the Conqueror variant will be killed by Doctor Doom. Now, this is something that you talked about, you and I have talked about, I mean, for months now, saying that, and you were really peaking pretty hard saying that, that if since Doctor Doom is the one to take the place of Kang, you want Doctor Doom to, like, you want to see Doctor Doom take out Kang, because I do have a few questions about Doctor Doom being in the Fantastic Four film, because I was reading some Fantastic Four comics, because I was because you and I have been talking about, obviously Franklin Richards for the longest. So I read about the birth of Franklin and Valeria, and I found out that Doctor Doom named Valeria Richards, and I didn't know that, bro. And so and there's also, rumors that, that the kids will already be born, and you and I already saw that there was a baby on set. So if this is the case, that the Fantastic Four is going to have kids and all of this stuff, before we get to the post credit scenes, should this mean that we should expect to see RDJ Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four already, if certain things are happening? Because if RDJ's Doctor Doom is coming from this Earth, which is the big rumor, and with all of these things going on with Galactus, I mean, the excuse, Jerry, could be that, Doctor Doom is killing Kang variants this whole time. But would you expect to see Doctor Doom in this film if these people and characters are involved?
I think that if I had to guess, I don't think Doctor Doom is going to be in the main part or story of Fantastic Four. I do think if we see him at all, it will be a post-credit scene. And the reason why, because I'll always give you the reasons, because those are important, is because I just think that there's too much going on already with the Fantastic Four movie. They're already dealing with time travel, multiversal. Time travel and multiversal is very different. It's not the same thing. If you're a Marvel fan, you should be able to understand that. The other thing that you have to think about with the Fantastic Four, they've never really been successful with the Fantastic Four in movies before. And because of that, I think that, and I don't think that they're playing it so safe. Originally, I thought they would, but I definitely think it would be a major risk to have Galactus, Silver Surfer, Shalabal, whatever, and Doctor Doom. I just think it would be way too much. And if we do see Victor Von Doom in the movie, I'm also making a prediction that he's not going to be in the Doctor Doom armor, and it would just be Victor Von Doom. Maybe something like a flashback to Reed's college days. For those of you that don't know, Reed and Victor Von Doom went to college together. They were intellectual rivals, and it's a big part of both of their stories and their origins. Not necessarily in terms of their, hero and villain origin, but just their origin of like their characters in general. And, the interesting thing with Valeria and Doom is that they really do have like a unique and special relationship. And they're pulling a lot from Jonathan Hickman's comics right now, but Valeria is super intelligent. And in Hickman's run, she actually makes a deal with Doctor Doom because she needs his help with certain threats that the Fantastic Four face with like the Four Cities. And the Four Cities is an underwater thing that Susan ends up working with Namor, and then the Mad Celestials come back. But the brunt of it is that Valeria knows that Doom is like the only person with the intellect and resources that could help. And she asks, so she asks for help, but Doom asks for something in return, and he asks for her respect and acknowledgement of just being a friend and a mentor. And, this relationship kind of evolves, and Doom really takes a more complex, noble role. Again, going back to, he's not necessarily a villain, and he becomes a key player in this multiversal collapse that leads into Secret Wars. And his role as Valeria's mentor, it becomes bigger and bigger, and going into Secret Wars. And it's really interesting to see. And it's just, that's why Doctor Doom is just such a complex, layered character. And it's pretty cool to see, Valeria have that relationship with Doctor Doom.
So you think that, if I was to summarize your take, you're like, that's more of a number one, you don't think Doctor Doom is going to have a big part in this at all? Like, and
I'm willing to bet on. He's definitely not going to have a big part. That I would put the house on.
And to be honest, I mean, the post-credit scene would make sense to me, I'm pretty sure it makes sense to you as well, because I mean the Fantastic Four is pretty much obviously connected to this whole thing. They're the centerpiece of this. So and I think it would be cool to see RDJ Doom like dragging one of the Kang variants, like or something crazy.
Yeah. By the way, I also have to mention, because I don't think I mentioned this, but in Secret Wars, the first one, Doctor Doom, he doesn't actually kill Kang the Conqueror, but he does face all these entities and characters during the event, and he basically takes over the power and, kind of tricks Kang. And Doctor Doom always one-ups Kang. So, they work together, but they also kind of have a rivalry, and they're very similar. They're very similar in terms of being like masterful strategists. Like, Kang is someone who will plot like a revenge through eras of time, and he'll travel back and live through time again to get back at someone. And, Doctor Doom is someone who, he's got like superpowers in an intense way too. But I think Doctor Doom is going to be the one to take out Kang, because they, number one, could do it quickly, get it over with. Number two, builds up Doom's character, and number three, it would definitely be consistent with the canon of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, I think the way that they're going to have Doctor Doom, if we were to differentiate how they're going to look in the MCU, I would say MCU Kang, very calculated. He knows how to hide himself in plain sight. I don't think Doctor Doom's going to be like that. Doctor Doom's going to be like, I'm here. Like, let's get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Doctor Doom's mindset is going to be like, no. I want everybody to know it's me. I want every trace of the multiverse. I want every Earth to know that it's me that did this. And I think that this is going to be a very what's the word? A very, I want to say masterful, but also a very aggressive. Like, I think Doctor Doom really appealed to Robert Downey Jr. because RDJ has always played the cocky guy, but he's never played the aggressive, like ongoing, on forward character. And we saw some of that in Infinity War, where he was just ready to fight anybody, and the nanotech suit was insane. But Tony Stark, was very cocky, but I wouldn't say he's as aggressive as this Doctor Doom portrayal is going to be. So I'm pretty excited.
The interesting piece to me there is that most superheroes naturally are reactive. A villain does something and they react. And I think the smarter and more resourceful heroes, like a Batman and, in our case, an Iron Man, have times where they are proactive. Like Age of Ultron is a perfect example of Tony Stark attempting to be proactive. But Doctor Doom is a proactive guy. He is not sitting there waiting for someone to do something before he sets his plans off in motion. He's the guy that, and you said it perfectly, because Doctor Doom, he's cocky, and that's one of the things that makes him like such an entertaining character.
Exactly. But bro, I also think that it's going to be a very interesting thing for RDJ, because Tony Stark was very unapologetic in the things that he did, and in some things that he did, there was no deep meaning to why he did it. With Doctor Doom, regardless of how menacing it may seem, there's always a deeper meaning to why he does things. And Thanos had that to an extent, but you couldn't really like feel it because you're still trying to wipe out humanity no matter what you say. Like we get that Thanos says, that the population's getting too high, we're gonna run out of resources. But all in all, we disagree with Thanos. But if Doctor Doom pulls the card of like I went to the end of time and I see how it is, and it's gonna be hard for a lot of fans to side with that. And Doctor Doom has that, he's capable of doing that. I mean, he pretty much fools Doctor Strange and a lot of other characters in Secret Wars, and that's the part of RDJ playing this Doctor Doom character that I'm really excited to see, because bro, he's gonna hoodwink so many people in these next few films. And also want to say this, right? We obviously had the Science Bros, right? With Bruce Banner and Tony Stark. We're about to get the freaking Magic Bros with Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange. And let me tell you, the Magic Bros are going to be way better than the Science Bros. Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange being Doctor Doom's right hand man, bro. We are in for a treat, brother. We are in for a treat.
Doom, don't forget, he's both, because he's the master of sorcery and science.
He's the science bro and the magic bro. And and I think I texted you yesterday saying that his powers is basically a mix of Doctor Strange and and Stark being very smart and very technologically intuitive. But the scary thing, Jerry, is that he's just as smart as Reed, and that's what's freaking scary, bro.
Yeah,
that kind of knowledge, bro.
He would say he's smarter than Reed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. And to some degrees, he is. Some degrees, he truthfully is. And so, this is, and look, we've spent 28 minutes talking about Doctor Doom, and we are, because he is one of the greatest, not just villains. Doctor Doom is one of the greatest characters of all time. Definitely top 10. So we're just so excited for Doctor Doom, man. This is going to be one of the most special groups of films that we're ever going to see.